Hey there, and welcome to the Caring Corner, the space where emotional wellness meets real life. I'm Michelle O'Neill, your host and resident emotional wellness coach, here to help you navigate life's transitions with wisdom, grace, and a touch of boldness. Whether you're balancing family, career, caregiving, or all the above, or simply trying to rediscover yourself, this is your place for deep insights, practical strategies, and occasional expert guests to inspire you to step outside your comfort zone. It's time to rewrite your story, starting with you. So let's dive in. Hey, Michelle O'Neill here, your resident emotional wellness coach and host today for the Caring Corner. And I am thrilled that you are here with me today. So, are you ready? I am so excited about today because we are getting ready to have the queen, the Sassy Wealth Queen, here on our episode today to tell us her story and why it's important to build your own wealth. Now, Lisa Marie is best known as the Sassy Wealth Queen, the brains behind the Sassy Wealth Coach and Cash and Sass podcast. Woo, can't talk today. But with over 20 years of experience in accounting, helping women entrepreneurs manage their money with confidence to feel empowered. After surviving a tumultuous childhood filled with addiction, theft, and violence, her mission is to help women stand on their own 2 feet, whether they need it or not. And tell me, you need it, don't you? Now, she teaches her clients how to take control of their finances and make mindful decisions that fuel growth and prosperity. When she started her business, she wanted to turn the financial pain and chaos that she experienced into prosperity and purpose. She ditched the victim mentality, changed her story, and created the life that she knew she deserved. Today, as an international speaker and humanitarian, she shares her story and teaches others how they can create, retain, and expand wealth by shifting their relationship with money. Now, that's a relationship that we all want to have. Lisa, I'm going to bring you on. I am so thrilled that you are here with me today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, so ladies, let me tell you, we clicked in our first conversation, and I am
Good.
so thrilled to have her here. And today was one of those days. I know we're not supposed to tell you all this behind the scenes stuff, but today was one of those days that Murphy's Law took effect, and we said we were rolling regardless. So just know we are thrilled to be here to be able to serve you today. So, Lisa, first thing, I just want you to tell us a little about you, your journey from that tumultuous, that is a hard word to say, girl,
Right.
childhood to becoming the sassy wealth queen is really inspiring. And I remember our conversation. Can you share with the audience that pivotal moment that shaped your mission to help women transform their relationships with money?
Yeah. First, I want to say thank you very much for having me. Second, I don't know if there was actually one pivotal moment. I think the one that comes to mind is, without going all into the deeps, everybody's got all these mini stories, right?
Mhm.
Um, Growing up, yes, I grew up in around theft and violence. Short end of the stick, my father was a drug addict and he was in and out of the lives. And so there was abuse, there was theft, there was this violence, right? And something inside me told me I was meant for more and to get the hell out. So I got out. And I would like to say, oh, the rest is all good in history, and it's not. There was many ups and downhills, and thinking that, okay, this went from one place to another place. Um, but I would say the fast pivotal moment was I was working in corporate, working 50 hours a week, barely making ends meet, two girls, and I would have to ask family for money to help put food on the table. I was no better off than I was, before, e- except I made sure I loved my kids, right? I did the opposite. All of the statistics said I would be addicted to drugs and an alcoholic and end up just like my father because I was a firstborn, the statistics. And I wasn't. I made sure of it. I made sure it ended with me, right? And yet the way we looked at money, the way we managed money, I didn't know it then, but that also comes from generations back. Um and I kept making the same mistakes over and over, or the same learning lessons over and over. And it was just after a while, I was like, okay, am I meant to always barely get by? Am I meant to not own a house? I've had two foreclosures and a short sale. Am I meant to only be just getting by? And I was like, no, there's got to be more. And I think it was after I celebrated making it through the fifth or sixth layoff that it hit me that that's just not something we should be celebrating. Like, oh yes, I made it. And yet I still couldn't barely make ends meet. And when I got laid off, I kept wishing to God for something. I was like, there's got to be a way out. There's got to be a way out. I'm done. I would cry. I had migraines and tension headaches. Y'all, the fact that I'm as healthy as I am, I think is a miracle in itself, because the amount of Excedrin tension headache medicine I put in my body. And if you go read the bottle, you'll understand why I'm saying it. And the amount of Imitrex, yes, there's a max, and I took the max. And when I got let go, I was done. That was it. I was like, there's got to be something. And I decided if I was going to barely make it, it was going to be on my terms, my way, at home, not making someone else rich. And within a year, the business grew. It grew really fast, not doing what I do now, but it still grew. And then all of a sudden, I still found myself back in that same hamster wheel, like, where'd the money go? And a mentor said something to me that sent me down a rabbit hole. And that was the point where I said, okay, something's got to change. I want to be here for my girls. I had my girls late in life. I want to be here. And she point blank said, if someone treated you like crap over and over and over again, talked to you like crap over and over and over again, would you go back? Like, no. She's like, then why would money? And it just, all of a sudden, it all made sense.
That was so profound. I mean, it even hit me, why would money?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I don't treat money like crap. She's like, really? Do you say thank you when you pay your bills? And I said, why in the world would I say thank you for paying a bill? She's like, because you had the money to pay it. The money was there. You're saying thank you. She said, do you get aggravated every time you have to pay it? And I'm like, yeah, actually. She says, then you're not treating it good. And I was like, and it just, all of a sudden, it just, the free frame on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went down a rabbit hole. That's the only way I know how to explain it. And the further I went down, the more I realized that our money stories can stem back 7 generations, just like our stories with alcoholism, drug addiction, child abuse, whatever. They can all go back. This can also go back 7 generations.
Let me jump in for a minute, because there's something that's really standing out here that I want to bring out to our audience. And we know that money is not a person, and not in that respect. We're not saying that it's a person, but what really is happening is the switch of your mindset, and that shifts that's happening to gratitude. It's
And that
not
was the
what
first
I have
pivotal
to.
thing.
Yeah, it's not what I have to, but I get to. I
Mhm.
have the money that I am able and I get to pay my bills. I
Mhm.
have the money and I'm able to get food so we have food for the next week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the shift in gratitude, and when you change it, basically what happens is it shifts you from lack to abundance. The
Hmm.
reason why I call myself the Sassy Wealth Queen and the reason why I'm known as the Sassy Wealth Queen is I tell people there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. People go, "No, there's not. You have lots of money." Yes, there is. Being rich is having lots of money.
Yes.
You can still be broke, you can still be poor, you can still be miserable and have lots of money. Trust me, I've met the people. It is totally possible. And you can be wealthy. And yes, that includes money, but being wealthy is being rich in all aspects of your life. Being wealthy in all the aspects of the life. And as a point, I created these what I call 5 wealth codes where you should be wealthy: spiritual, energetic, mental, physical, and financial. And think about all 5 of those areas. Money is energy. Yes, money is a piece of paper, but it's just energy. We pass the money. And yes, I used to say this all the time, money doesn't make the world go round. It does to a certain point.
Well, it gives you
Because
the
people
ability
make it make change.
right.
To
If
make
you don't,
change to be better.
exactly, if you don't have money, and this was a big hurdle for me. So I totally get it. Um, I would feel guilty when I did get money. And it was like almost that you didn't deserve it.
Mhm.
And I had to come to the understanding, especially with my faith, a lot of people think, you can't have I'm a Christian and it's like you can't have faith and, love money. And no, I don't love money, but I understand the value of money and the more that I can do for others with money.
And you can also love money and understand the thing. Does that mean it's more important than God or Christianity? No.
Mhm.
And you having more money provides you the ability to make a difference in your community, right?
Exactly.
To make a difference to the people you're caring for, to make a difference for the homeless, to make a difference for people across the world. My mission is, like I said, is to help every single woman be able to stand on their own 2 feet, whether they need to or not. My mission is to help with the mental health. My other mission is to change the way women are treated all across the world. Is that a big mission? Yes, absolutely.
And you
And
need money for it.
money is right. Money is
Mhm.
what's going to help me be able to make those changes and make the differences. The reason why I created my podcast is similar to you. You wanted to be able to make a bigger impact, right? You wanted to be able to reach those people. Okay, well, I want to kick money taboo to the curb, like for good. Okay. And cash and sass is one of the ways I'm doing that. And when we change the way we look at money, and someone told me this in one of my podcasts, and I love it, and I've used it. She said, think of it as a dance partner. If you have 2 people leading, then what happens? And what happens is you step on each other's toes.
Mhm.
You get aggravated, something disappears. Well, if you're the one leading in the dance, you're telling the money where you want it to go, and you're being grateful and having the gratitude. So you have this awesome rhythm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, ooh, okay. And so she's like, so just have a dance relationship. Have your money be a dance partner, basically, right? And look at it however you want to. But I challenge you, because next time you go and pump gas, don't cringe at the gas prices. I know it's very easy to do, trust me. Instead,
No, I can
say
pay
thank
for the
you.
gas. I can pay for the
Say
gas.
Thank you. And don't even say I can pay for it. Say thank you for having the ability. Thank you for the money being on this card. Thank you for the money being in this bank account. Thank you for me having this credit card that I can pay for gas and having the money to pay for the credit card. Just say and here's the keys. You don't say it mean or grudgingly, right? You say it meaning it. And you may have to take a deep breath and say it. It's not going to change the way you look at money the very first time, I promise. Y'all, I've been in my business for 8 years and I still make sure I do it. And I'll still catch myself. I went to the grocery store last week and I caught myself. I caught myself wanting to cringe over the grocery prices. And I stopped and literally the cashier was looking at me really weird. I said, nope, thank you that I have the money on this card. And I dinged it and paid for it. And she said, why did you just say thank you? And I said, because I have the money to pay for this. And there are so many people that don't.
You know what? And we're gonna disagree on one point, and we're gonna move on. But to me, I'm not saying, and you know where I'm going, and I'm not gonna go. But I'm not saying thank you to the money, but I do walk in
No,
gratitude.
I'm saying thank you to the universe, not and to God and to the higher power, not to the
Mhm.
money itself. I'm
Right.
saying thank you for the money being there. No, I agree with you.
Exactly.
I'm not actually showing gratitude to money. I'm
Yes.
having the gratitude that I have the money and I
Okay.
have the ability. Because then
Absolutely.
you're telling the universe and the higher power that you want more and that you're gonna that you desire more and that you can do good with more.
Right, right. Okay. I just wanted to clarify
Oh,
there.
no, no,
So
no. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly,
yeah, for
wholeheartedly.
for
The
me,
gratitude isn't the gratitude isn't to money. The gratitude is
right.
having the ability to pay it and having the money. And coming from me who had to borrow and who was on food stamps, being able to have the money on a card and pay for it and know, okay, I have the ability to make this money. I have my own business. I have the ability to make this money. I have the ability to make more money. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, for giving me this money and me having the ability to have it. Thank you. And I'm
But
able to
okay,
pay.
I want to circle back to something. Girl, you
Mhm.
got me all over the place. But you said something. Oh gosh, what was it? You were saying something about um oh, I can't even remember, but it made me think about my ladies. So it's going to hit me again. But I'm going to move to the next
You
question
go
that I
ahead.
have for you, because I do I agree with you, and that whole attitude of gratitude and understanding. Oh, you were talking about the card. And just so people understand, um a good practice, and we're going to talk about that in this question, is yes, you have the card, but the question is, do you have the money for that card?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we're gonna attack that now, because I
Mhm.
don't want you to think that I'm advocating uh just use spend up your credit card or anything.
Oh,
So
no, no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no.
So that's why I said I just want to clarify that, because you know how people be listening to stuff, and I'm gonna let you do that now. So many of my listeners are actually, they're juggling caregiving, careers, and personal growth, and you know all of those take money. Absolutely.
Mhm. Mhm.
Especially caregiving, there are expenses and things that happen, and we know your story there too, that are unexpected,
Mhm.
or that change, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden there's a hole in the pocket that was not foreseen. And this often leaves little room for them to focus actually on financial empowerment, which is actually one of those things you need to put in your to do, not just a to do, one of those things that you need to incorporate in your life. So, what are some common money stories or beliefs that hold women back, and how can they start to shift these narratives? We've already hit one, and that's gratitude, but I know
Mhm.
you have a few others.
Yeah, and one of the things that gratitude is going to lead to is going to lead to this because what it's going to do is it's going to build your self-esteem as far as I'm worthy for money because what a lot of women believe is they're not worthy. They're not worthy of making money. They're not worthy of having it easy. They're not worthy of being able to do more. And part of my story is I am a mom of two special need kids. My oldest is autistic, so she's um, very special needs, and she also has excuse me, she also has a mental health disorder. So those unexpected expenses happen. I'm navigating one, and you know it can throw curveballs to you. And one of the things that I do is I have what I call I am affirmations. I have them pop up on my phone. I have them in sticky notes in my bathroom, and it just reminds me that I am worthy. I deserve to make money. I deserve to live a life on my terms. Um, Having these worthy statements and being able to look inward, and just really, really changing how you look at yourself and realize that you're more than capable and that you're stronger than you think you are. Because if you are caring for others and you're having a business or working a job and doing household, listen, ladies, you are so much stronger, okay, than you even can imagine. Because I know, so I'm not just saying it just to say it. There are times where I don't feel like I'm strong. I feel like I'm probably the weakest person ever. I feel like I don't ever have it all together. There's a meme that somewhere it says, "No, I don't know where all my ducks are." What is it? No, no, not all my ducks are in a row. Matter of fact, I don't even know where my ducks are, and one of them
Mhm.
might be a geese. Okay, that is me on a lot of occasions. And it's it's just the way it is. And then if we change that outlook of it and start having that gratitude and having these affirmation statements, and then having the gumption to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to look at my numbers and I'm going to figure out what is going on with my money. Because so often we spend, I'm not even talking about credit card, I'm talking about debit. That debit card, because think about it, I'm 51, so I remember the day before we only could pay with a check or cash,
Mhm, mhm.
and or we had to go to the ATM and pull money. The debit cards didn't exist.
Or Apple
Now,
Pay.
right?
Oh
Well, see,
my
I don't use
gosh.
Apple Pay. I refuse. I refuse to use Apple Pay. I refuse to have any of my cards stored on the phone and just tap my phone. I refuse. And being able to just tap, though, has made it so easy to where we do it without thinking. We do it without being mindful. And I think that's one of the reasons why I refuse to have it on my phone, is because it makes me be mindful when I'm pulling out the card, because I make sure I'm being mindful. I'm looking at the card and I'm saying, okay, I'm using my debit card to purchase this. And when we do that and we know where our money's going, we can look and say, does this align with my values? How much I'm spending going out to eat, is that aligning with my goals and my values? And if the answer is no, then change how much you're spending. If the answer is yes, great, put it into your monthly spending plan. I call them a spending plan, um, because your spending plan is to help you. It's like a GPS. It helps you direct where you want your money to go. And
Or
so,
otherwise you get a leak. I call it a
right,
leak. You get a money
yes,
leak.
you.
It's like,
I call them. I have, for the business, I call it 7 profit leaks. For personal, you get a money leak, and a
see,
majority of us have money leaks. And anyone who says, "No, I don't," unless you've done a deep dive into your spending and you do it on a regular basis, I suggest quarterly, at least minimum of every 6 months, then you're gonna have a money leak. I still have money leaks every once in a while. If I don't do my check at least every 6 months, I end up finding a money leak. I'll find an expense that I totally forgot about, that's not on my spending plan, that I thought I'd canceled and I hadn't canceled. It's a money
girl, let's
leak.
not talk about them
Them
automatic
subscriptions.
payments. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's just it when you take a dive into, and just you don't overthink it, but you jot the things down, the ones that are recurring every month, and then you go and look at those one-offs and just really look at, list it, highlight them, say, okay, this is food, this is grocery, this is gas, and see. And then if there's something else like movies, restaurant, whatever, see where it's going. Is for the, and I suggest for the last 3 months, that's why I say every quarter, so that you can truly see. And if you're doing this, like if you go to do it over the holidays, I would say go back 6 months, because
Mhm.
holiday spending is going to be insane. Please don't judge yourself over holiday spending. When I first did it in January, the very first time, I went back 6 months and took into consideration that 2 of those months was holiday spending, right?
Kind of
And
like eating
mhm,
all the
but
sweets you
doing
eat.
right. Well, I don't eat nearly as much as I used to, but still, it's still the same. I don't, but it's still the same. It when you if you look at it, and just change one thing. So, for example, one of my clients, she did the deep dive, realized how much she was spending at Starbucks. She was petrified that I was going to tell her she needed to stop going to Starbucks. Well, first of all, I'm not going to tell you no any such thing. Whether it's your personal money or your business money, you're the CEO of your money, and it's your money. Second, if you're okay spending whatever it is you're spending, great. But if you come to me and you tell me, holy crap, for example, we'll just use this money. I spent, I don't know, $300 this past month on Starbucks. Okay, are you okay with that? No. Okay, well, let's look
Mm.
at how many days a week you're going. I go 6 days a week. Okay. Well, how about we do this? How about we go 3 days? She's like, really? You're not going to tell me to cut it out? I was like, no, that's a restrictive diet. Why? Do restrictive diets work? The answer is no,
No.
they don't. So if 3 is too much, let's cut back 4. Let's go to 4 days. Try that for a couple of months. That extra money you're going to save, and we estimated how much it was going to be, let's allocate it in your spending plan to this thing that you're wanting. And
Mhm.
then we cut it back to 3. And when we cut it back to 3, she's like, okay, I can do 3 days a week. I don't need it 6 days a week. I was just in the habit.
Mhm.
So she's doing it 3 days. She's saving almost half of the money, by the way, y'all.
Girl, I know.
Starbucks expensive.
I'm
She's
a
saving like
Wawa
a lot of
girl.
money. She's saving a lot of money. So the half, right? So then now it's being put up or put to, say, taking her mom on vacation because she's caring for her mom. She wants to take her mom on a vacation trip. Now it's going into a savings account, and I had her label it mom's trip so that she knew that was for that. So now she's got that money going. Then once they go on that trip, she can allocate that money to where she wants it to go. The key is she's in charge. And if you have something that you know some hiccups would come up, then that's when you go, okay, you know what? I don't like calling an emergency. I am not woo woo, and I don't want to put any type of word out into the universe. I would rather say rainy day.
Mhm.
I even have one client, she calls it my hiccups. She calls it life hiccups. Life hiccups is what she calls it, which I love. So
Mhm.
she calls it life hiccups, and she has money going into that. So she split what we realized she was spending. She's like, no, I'm not okay with that. We split it between life hiccups and her taking her daughter on a trip. Her daughter wants to go on a cruise, kind of like
Mhm.
how I took my daughter who has autism on a cruise. And so I told her what I did. And so now she's splitting that. She has 2 savings accounts, and they're split into that. And it they're both nicknamed that. And she come to me, she's like, holy crap, she said, I like this. This is working. I'm like, it's simple. And we don't think about it. So if we really think about it, now we're having the empowerment, we're having the power, and we're telling our money where to go instead of us just tapping the card. Now, as far as the credit cards go, listen, I've been in debt. It's not fun. I've had to juggle it many times. If you can't, okay, there's good debt and there's bad debt.
Mhm.
I do not believe all debt is bad. I don't believe that. I believe that if you can be strategic, sometimes life happens with business or personal that you have to put some things on a credit card that you may not be able to pay off immediately.
Mhm.
Okay. I get that. What I do say is, okay, you look at and say, for a perfect example, my vehicle, I had to replace tires right after I just had some things fixed. So my vehicle savings was drained. There was no money in it. I looked at the cost of the tires. I had to have tires. We were having tires. And I have a Suburban. So there you go. That lets you know. And apparently I have, I don't know, big rims. So big tires. Or when I bought it, I didn't know. Okay. And I love my vehicle. Anyway, I bought two, no problem. Now I had to buy two more. So when I looked at the cost of those two, my two tires were going to cost me approximately, I think it's like 500, a little over $500, almost close to six.
Right.
So
Hmm.
what I did is I said, okay, I'm putting this on the credit card. And then I did the figuring to say, okay, this is when I can have it. This is how much I can put towards it and I can pay it. So
Hmm.
you see what I'm saying? I came up with a payment plan to the credit card. And
Right.
I
Right.
kind of calculated the interest to, I don't get it exactly right, so I round up. If the money is in a savings account, then I'll pay the credit card and I'll pay that another savings account off or
Right.
back.
Hmm.
If there's money in the vehicle savings, then I pay the credit card from the vehicle savings, no interest. But when you don't have it, the key is being strategic, making sure you're holding yourself accountable. So what I do is I say, okay, I can pay $200 a month and I can have it paid off in 3 months. I add that $200 to my spending plan for the month to make sure that's where it's going. That's going to that credit card.
Okay.
That's the key between the good and the bad.
Okay. So I'm listening to you, and this is I get it, but for some people, some women, this feels overwhelming because
Overwhelming.
you gotta
Yep.
remember this account and this account, and so I want you to just give me and just real quick, three simple steps that they can take today, right now, after hearing this, to start gaining control and confidence in managing their money.
The first step, you need to know your money. You need to know what's going on with it.
Okay.
Do a deep dive. Do the deep dive.
Okay.
Put
Deep
it in a
dive.
spreadsheet. Put it in deep dive. The
Okay.
second step, and that's being honest with yourself. I tell people all the time, you can lie to me, you can lie to your neighbor, but be honest with yourself about where your money's going, and be honest with yourself if you're okay with it, or if there's something that needs to temporarily be stopped, temporarily cut back. I don't say permanently, right? I've made temporary cutbacks through the last year with my business because my business went through a difficult time. Are they permanent? No, they were temporary. And I'm okay with that because I know they're temporary and I'm doing what's needed for
Right.
right then.
Mhm.
And it's just case like my daughter, her insurance is in a limbo because she's with the state Medicaid and they're moving slower than molasses. Because it's in limbo, that's throwing a life hiccup, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm because that means anything is out of pocket because you can't add her to my insurance because she's on the state Medicaid and state Medicaid's in limbo. You don't have a denial, you can't put her on the insurance. Again, they're moving slower than molasses. Welcome to state governments and all. And because it's throwing the limbo, putting us in limbo, I said, okay, what I normally put here into, going towards whatever,
Right.
I'm making sure is in that rainy day savings. So I say at least have a rainy day savings or a life hiccup savings
Mm-hmm.
so that the money is there to help me pay for her medications or a visit she may need in the process of all of this being sorted out.
Okay. Now remember, we're trying to keep it really simple.
Mhm.
So now, and so the first one is look at your money, be
Mhm.
honest with it, take a marker out, decide if, hey, I'm okay with this, or even if you see things you can change at that point. What's number
Yeah,
two?
there's something you can if you something you can cut back, cut it back. Step
Right.
number 2 is, um, once you once you cut those things back, making sure you have everything in one place so you know what's going on, right? And I would say open up just one savings account. You can call it rainy day life hiccups,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go to easy peasy, y'all, easy. You don't have to go to your bank. Go to Capital One. They
Mm-hmm.
offer free savings accounts, and later, if you decide you want to open more, you can have as many as you want,
Okay. So
and they're
free
all
a
free.
savings account. Okay. That's
Mhm,
number
mhm,
two. And that's easy to
mhm.
do.
Yeah,
Number
very
three.
easy.
Number three.
The third one is to give yourself grace.
Okay. I love that one. But I just thought about something about number two. What are they, how, and just to give them just real simple, how much are they putting in that savings account?
You can put as much as a dollar. As long
Okay.
as you put something in that account within the first 90 days, Capital One will leave it open. There's no minimum balance, there's no fees. The only thing they require is I think it's a minimum of $5 within the first 90 days, and then after that, you don't have to have
No,
anything in
your
there.
recommendation.
Oh,
Miss
no, okay.
Queen. Miss Queen. What is
Then
your
you're going then you're
recommendation?
as much as you can do, whatever it is you
Okay.
can do. I
Okay.
start where you're at. If you tell me, "Lisa, I only have $5 a month to put in that," then put $5 a month in there.
Okay.
If you tell me, "Hey, I've got 15 right now, but I might be, that's all I've got," then you put 15 in there. If you need to do it weekly because you get paid weekly, make it where it's weekly. Then because you're looking at that spreadsheet, and that's what I call your money roadmap, because you're
Hmm.
looking at it, as things change, you can increase the amount. The key isn't how much, the key is just to do it. Y'all, when
Okay.
I started, I was putting $5 a month in one account,
Hmm.
and I put 25 in another, and that's the only thing I had for I know the first couple of years, and then I gradually increased. And those are the key is to start where you're at. If you try to put too much in there and money is tight, or you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not going to stick to it. Just like the restrictive diet.
Right,
So
right. But you you
start where you're at.
it helps just to give them, I like the $5. If five
Mhm.
dollars is all you can give,
If
put
$5
five
is all
dollars.
you
I,
can
I
give,
love
put
that. But
$5 in there. Yep.
yeah, just a baseline is nice to have,
I suggest at least $5 a month.
Okay.
Most of us can find $5, even
Right,
when we're tight. I'll be honest, even when I didn't have a savings account, when I was tighter than, whatever, I could have probably found $5, guaranteed,
right,
because all I had to do was not go to a fast food place. And nowadays, if you go to a fast food place, you're spending $20 in one visit. So if you cut one fast food place out, then you've got $20 a month right there that you can put into savings account.
right,
You see what I'm
right.
saying? There's
Hmm.
your brain just has to look at it in a way that you go, "Oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to go out to eat on this. Instead, I'm going to put it here." And that's not saying you're restricting yourself. You're just saying, instead of going out 5 times a week, I'm only going to go out twice a week or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm. Awesome, awesome. So now we've given them a lot to think about. We really have, and I love everything that you've been talking about. But the techie practical girl in me says, what tools or systems do you recommend for women entrepreneurs or busy caregivers
Oh.
to manage their money effectively and confidently, even with a hectic schedule?
As entrepreneurs, for accounting perspectives, I would say QuickBooks. For busy caregivers and doing the things, your personal stuff, I used to have an app, and then they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped doing it.
Right,
Um,
right,
I love that app. I recommended it to everybody, and then they just decided they weren't going to do it no more. And I'll be honest, I'm in the process of trying to find another app, and I've been through 5, and I haven't found one that I absolutely positively love.
okay,
That being said, I can I can I mean, I'll share it with your audience.
okay.
It's a Google sheet,
Mm-hmm.
and I use that, and what I do is I print it out and I have it in front of me, and I use that. I keep it in a folder. The folder's right here behind me. I keep it in a folder, and the folder goes with me everywhere I go, like
Mm-hmm.
everything else I pack. When we're caregiving, right? We have things that stay in a bag. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
always in a bag. Um, and then I'm using an app a bill app reminder. I'm trying it out. I haven't decided if I like it yet or not. It's
Right.
called Bill Out. It's called Bill Out.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't pay things for you like through the app like the other one did that I loved. I could actually pay stuff through the app, that other app that they stopped.
Right.
But this one does remind you. And I'm testing it out and tweaking it to see how I like it.
Okay.
Before I recommend things to people, because I had 2 other
But
ones I tried and I didn't like them at all.
But you're saying at the simplest, even doing your own
A
spreadsheet,
spreadsheet.
whether it's
Yeah.
Google Sheets or
Mhm.
whether it's
Excel. Yeah.
Excel, or
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
Just
I have
just
I have a
be.
s I have a simple spreadsheet on Excel that I can share, and it's also in
I
Google
would
Sheets that
love
I
to
can
have that
share.
link for my audience.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's simple, and it's got 2 tabs. Uh, for the businesses, it'll have 4 tabs. You can just delete the tabs if they don't pertain to you, but it's your monthly expenses, and it's just your, just where you list I call it the vendor, but the bill, the person the
Right.
company or the thing you're paying, the
Mhm.
amount and the date. And recommend it being in date order. Listen, having them all on there is great, but if you don't have it in date order, it's not going to do you a hill beans and nothing,
Right,
because
right, right.
you're not going to be able to tell when what's coming out when.
Yeah,
So for
alphabetical
me,
order don't work.
right, or having everything on there, but having the 15th, then the 20th, then the 1st, then the 5th, and they're all in that order, that doesn't do any good either.
Right.
So my suggestion is to make sure that you are, you can put them all on there, and
Mhm.
then put them in order and have it in order of when the bill's going to come out, because it's going to do two things. You'll be able to say, oh, if I get paid twice a month, okay, what's due between the 1st and the 15th? And you can total it to the side.
Right, right.
Or you can say, oh, I get paid on the 5th and I need to make sure I can pay to here. You can total those. I can't tell you how many times I've totaled different amounts, and I haven't had to worry about adding it up. I can just say sum and go in between the dates, and add up the ones I'm wanting to add up. And it just helps you manage it better. Simple spreadsheet. I use a simple spreadsheet because
Awesome.
I love my spreadsheet.
Well, I love
I print it out
simplicity.
every month. I print it out every month. If there's any changes, I change it. Then I print it out for the next month, and I mark it off every single time an expense comes out, so I know when it's come out, how much, what's going on, that kind of thing.
I love
I
that.
love
I
simple. I
really,
love simple.
girl, okay, we could talk forever, but I'm gonna get to this last question here because we're just going on and on. So, your story is a testament, it really is, to resilience and determination. What advice do you have for women who feel stuck in their financial journey and are unsure of how to move forward? And just know that, this may not get to everyone, but I want my ladies to understand what it is that they can do to be unstuck. What did you learn? What was the biggie?
I learned to look inward, and to, one, give myself grace, and two, no matter how slow we move, the only way we fail is if we're not moving at all. So even if it's baby steps, as
Five
long as we're
dollars.
moving forward, then we're not failing.
Mm.
And when you realize that you have a lot more power than you think, and that you're more resilient than you realize, and more stronger than you realize, you're able to look in and find the strength. And I'm going to tell you, is it always easy? No, it still isn't. Um, but I look inward. I believe in God. I believe in the higher power, and I look inward and I find that strength that I know He gave me, and I feel into my gut and my instincts saying, okay, what's the next step for me? And that could just be simply just doing the spreadsheet and marking it each time, and having that knowledge and practicing that gratitude. That gratitude is going to give you empowerment, because it's going to make you also realize how much you're actually doing. This the
Gratitude is a phenomenal energy that helps you during your life. And people just don't understand how powerful the practice of gratitude really is. And
mhm. the
so,
only the only other thing I would suggest is self-care, and I think that's really hard for us caregivers. Um, One of the things I had to realize is that when I take care of myself, I'm just gonna say it, I make more money. Because my cup is full, I'm able to provide for my kids better. I'm able to provide to my clients better. I'm able to do these podcasts. I'm able to move move more and have more energy when I
If your
take care of
cup
myself.
if your cup is full, there is more to pour out.
Yes.
You
And when we
cannot
take
pour
care of
from an empty cup.
you know what? That's a lesson we should be able to learn really easy, and it took me many years to learn it. When we're drained from all the things, from caregiving, whether it's a parent or special needs or whatever, and the business and or working and all that, when we're pouring for that empty cup, you're not going to look at what you're spending. You're not going to look at your finances. You're not going to feel like you're empowered. When we take care of ourselves, that fuels us. And to me, having that fuel and having that gratitude and just saying, you know what? I didn't come this far to just come this far.
Right. And I just have to say this before we get off. I was at a doctor the other day, and we were talking about pain and how so many people, women specifically, deal with pain as we just push through because we feel we have to. And she made a comment, and that's why I believe women were made to have childbirth. She says, I said, I agree. And I'm not going to go where the conversation went.
It, it, it,
But
we
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 do. But
we
that's
do.
not a good thing. It's not
No,
a good thing. I'm
we
saying
naturally, right, it's not a good thing, and we naturally put everyone before us because we're naturally caregivers.
we're nurturers.
And right, and that's not a good thing either, because if here's what it reminds me of. If you fly, when you were on the airplane, what do they tell you?
The oxygen mask first.
You must put the oxygen mask on yourself first before putting it on your child, your spouse, or anybody else. Well, why would they tell
Because
us
if you pass
caregivers?
out, who are you going to help?
If you get
Exactly.
that exactly. So if you're
Hmm.
not taking care of you, you're not going to have the energy to keep taking care of the people that depend on you, your
Well,
clients, your children, or whoever. You're going to be pouring from that empty cup,
and
and you're
you're the
not
wealth
going to
queen,
concentrate on those things.
but I'm the emotional wealth queen, and I'm
And
going to
you know
say
it.
right. I'm telling you right here and now that people think, oh, I can just keep pushing through. It doesn't just affect. It affects how you deal with that person, even how you talk to them, even your frustration level, your stress level, your tiredness, all of that. It isn't just that, oh, if I push through, I can do it. I can do it. But
It affects
but it
everything. It
doesn't, you
affects
don't do it with the
everything.
same love. You don't do it with the same love. And
And you don't pay it when we get so tired, okay, because we're not caring for ourselves, and you're the emotional queen, we then stop paying attention to what we're spending money on, how we're spending money, what we're doing, and then we end up feeling guilty because we overspent somewhere or we messed up or whatever. It's like a vicious cycle. And how I know that is because I lived on that cycle. I lived that vicious cycle
one
for way too long.
one last thing I need to say, ladies, you cannot buy love.
No, you can't.
Spending money on people will not buy you gratitude,
Mm-mm.
appreciation,
Nope.
love.
Mm-mm.
It just will not happen.
Nope.
So,
Nope. It won't.
so this has been awesome. I have enjoyed our conversation. We just gonna keep in touch. But
I know that you are. Thank you very much for having me on, and I am blessed, very blessed that we're going to keep in touch because you're like me. We're very picky of who we have on our show. So the fact that you want to keep in touch with me, just I'm very honored and I'm very blessed, and
oh,
I hope that the ladies that listen to this just if they even get one nugget out of it, just know that you're worthy. You're worthy of more. You're worthy of having an overfull cup. Yeah, it's the reason why I created those wealth coach, right? You said the emotional, okay? Well, that's goes to your mental health, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
your spiritual, your energetic, and your mental, they all affect what you do with your money, and they all intertwine. That's the reason why they were created, and it it flowing from a full cup. I don't know. It's worth everything.
It is. So you have given us so much. If someone wants to get in touch with you, now I'm gonna put all the notes and stuff in there. But
Yeah.
how can they get in touch with you? And y'all, I'm gonna make sure she give me that link to that spreadsheet.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
I got
Make sure matter of fact, I'll write that down now so I don't forget, because I'm a
it.
caregiver and I promise I will end up forgetting,
Miss
not
Sassy
meaning to,
Queen, how do they get
not
in touch
meaning
with
to,
you?
but I will. You can find me on my website. It's thesassywealthcoach.com. Or you can go to Facebook or LinkedIn. Both of them are the Sassy Wealth Coach. And then, or find me on my personal profile. And I think it's Lisa Marie SWC. I think is what it is, or SWC Lisa Marie. I can't remember. I'll have to look.
Just give
But
it to me. I got you.
I'm there. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn. You go to my website. There's a connect me or contact me. You can fill that out, and I always answer. So.
Awesome. It has been an honor. I want to thank
Thank
you once
you.
again for being on the Caring Corner.
Thank you.
I know, I'm not even going to say I hope you got something out of this. I know that you are walking away with some goal. I want to thank you for giving us the time to be here on the Caring Corner today. Until next time, go ahead and say bye, Lisa Marie.
Bye.
All right. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.
Well, that's it for this episode of The Caring Corner. Remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is shaping your season and writing your story. If today's conversation spoke to you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who needs this message. And if you're ready to dive deeper into your next chapter, let's connect. You'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep rising, keep growing, and keep rewriting the narrative of your life. You've got this.